Windsor, United Kingdom, September 17, 2025. The scene was one of grandeur and ceremony as the royal family and the President of the United States stood side by side at Windsor Castle. The crisp autumn air carried both solemnity and symbolism as King Charles III, Queen Camilla, and President Donald Trump listened to the Star-Spangled Banner echoing through the historic courtyard. The anthem, performed with precision by Britain's military band, filled the grounds of Windsor with the unmistakable sound of American patriotism. For Trump, it was a moment designed to project strength abroad. For the royal family, it was protocol, duty, and diplomacy carried out with royal restraint. For viewers, it was the striking image of two nations bound together by history and ceremony. The cameras captured the wide shot, the monarch, the Queen Consort, and the American president aligned in posture and purpose, their expressions reflecting the gravity of the moment. The band, dressed in ceremonial uniform, delivered the anthem note by note, their brass and drums reverberating against castle walls that have withstood centuries of history. When the camera tightened into a medium shot, the details told the story. King Charles, dignified and composed, stood tall beside Queen Camilla, whose gaze lingered as the anthem reached its crescendo. Donald Trump, hands at his sides, appeared resolute, aware that every second was being broadcast around the world. But beyond the surface of protocol, there was deeper meaning in this moment. This marked Trump's second official state visit to Britain, a rarity in Anglo-American relations. Few US presidents have been accorded such an honor twice. The choice by Buckingham Palace and the Starmer government to extend this invitation reflected both tradition and the pressing realities of geopolitics. For Britain, the visit was a test of the so-called special relationship, a bond that has shaped global politics since the Second World War. For Trump, it was an opportunity to showcase himself on the world stage, to stand before the cameras with crowns and castles as his backdrop, and to remind critics at home and abroad that he remained a central figure in world affairs. The anthem itself became a metaphor for continuity. Music has always played a role in diplomacy, from coronations to funerals, from victories to reconciliations. It has bridged divides and marked moments. Here on the cobblestones of Windsor, the Star-Spangled Banner was not just a performance, it was a statement. As the notes lingered, questions hung in the air. Could ceremony paper over divisions between allies? Could pageantry conceal the undercurrents of protest already stirring across London, where demonstrators prepared to voice anger over Trump's policies? Could the image of unity at Windsor Castle withstand the realities of 21st century politics? The crowd beyond the cameras stood in silence, witnessing not only a royal event, but a performance of diplomacy. Some waved flags, others simply watched. For them, it was a reminder that politics is not always about speeches or negotiations. Sometimes it is about symbols. When the final chords faded, the silence spoke volumes. In that silence, one could hear echoes of history, of Roosevelt and Churchill, of Reagan and Thatcher, of presidents and prime ministers who stood before, each shaping the alliance in their own way. For King Charles, the ceremony underscored the monarchy's enduring role in diplomacy, one rooted in tradition but shaped by modern pressures. For Trump, it was a platform, an image carefully crafted to counter critics who accused him of isolationism. For both, it was a performance meant for history's record, one that will be replayed in documentaries, newsreels, and political campaigns. Yet, behind the grandeur, challenges loomed. Trade negotiations, military cooperation, and international crises in Ukraine and Gaza hovered in the background of this visit. The anthem ceremony may have been ceremonial, but it was also strategic. A carefully staged tableau meant to reinforce unity while delicate discussions unfolded behind palace walls. As Windsor Castle looked on, its towers bathed in afternoon light, the moment revealed the paradox of diplomacy in the modern age. Rituals rooted in centuries past continue to frame 21st century politics. The clash between spectacle and substance remains unresolved. In the end, what the world saw was a scene of respect and tradition, a king, a queen, and an American president listening together to a national anthem. But what the world understood was more complex. An alliance tested, a leader under scrutiny, and a monarchy navigating the intersection of duty and diplomacy. As the motorcades prepared to depart and the day's schedule of banquets, meetings, and handshakes stretched ahead, Windsor's anthem moment lingered. It was at once fleeting and eternal, a reminder that in politics, as in history, symbols can outlast speeches. On this September day, the Star-Spangled Banner at Windsor Castle carried more than melody. It carried history, controversy, and the fragile weight of friendship between nations. The music has ended, but the questions remain. Questions about unity, about leadership, and about the enduring power of pageantry in a divided world.